The little girl just touched the ground lightly, and dozens of acres of cabbages grew in the wasteland. She even had a fierce white wolf king as her pet. The wolf brought pheasants and wild rabbits every day as snacks, feeding the girl and the villagers to their heart's content. In the resource-strapped 1950s, getting a bite of meat might have been the biggest dream of a lifetime, so the whole village was deeply grateful to the little girl. Turns out she was the reincarnation of a lucky star, and anyone who treated her well would be blessed with good fortune. Only her scumbag father didn't know about this yet. One day he got a small official post in the city, and came rushing home to show off. But the first thing he did when he walked in was ask his hard-working wife for a divorce. The mother was so furious she turned around and beat her son, calling him an ungrateful jerk. Their shouting drew a crowd from the whole village, but the man didn't care at all, and even announced in public he had remarried in the city, and already had a kid. Facing his daughter, he pretended to care and said, if she wanted, she could go live in the city with her stepmother. The neighbors were outraged. They all knew the girl's mother had been his child bride since she was young, and had worked tirelessly for the family for decades. Now that he had some status in the city, he wanted to dump his loyal wife and abandon his own child. The little girl made up her mind to teach her scumbag father a lesson. She pulled out a bottle of pepper spray, waited till the man got close, and then sprayed it straight into his face without hesitation. But the villagers seemed used to it, thinking it was just another one of her spells. Just then, the old village chief showed up to stand up for the woman. He even mentioned that she was listed in the family genealogy and officially recognized in the clan. But the man just sneered, saying it was the new era now, and child brides were outdated garbage from the old society, no longer valid. The woman lost all hope, and finally agreed to the divorce. The man was overjoyed, but the next second, the little girl suddenly spoke coldly. Divorce is fine, but he must be removed from the family record. The man froze. Even the old chief frowned, since for hundreds of years, there had never been a case of a father being kicked out while the child stayed. But the man had no idea how capable his daughter was, so he agreed without a second thought. The very next day, the girl ran to the city herself, and stood outside the office building asking to see the top leader. The guard said he'd report it, but she waited for hours, and no one came out. So she knelt at the gate, crying and shouting about how her dad had abandoned his wife and child. The crowd around her grew bigger and bigger, until the leader came back from a meeting and took her inside. After hearing her story, he immediately ordered an investigation. Soon the matchmaker was brought in, and as soon as she spoke, she revealed a shocking truth. To please his new father-in-law, the man had lied that his first wife had died and his daughter was gone, and that was how he got his new marriage. The leader was furious, and said he'd personally go to the village to get justice for the mother and daughter. Not long after, he brought a notice of disciplinary action to the village, announcing that the man would be demoted, and 1/3 of his salary would go directly to the girl as child support. But before the villagers could even breathe a sigh of relief, the scumbag suddenly showed up with his new wife.